Hello and welcome back to the channel where we are building a video game from scratch using Love2d and Lua. Now I got started late today, so it'll be a short stream, but we've got a couple of things left for the demo, right? We've got to have one more song for the refinery. We've got to make Fisherman's Hut, Fisherman NPC, Villager NPC, and then a couple new sprites for the overworld. So it's like we've got the layout kind of mapped out, but not the final art. Like we've got some like placeholder blockage stuff going on, so it's just kind of like how it's generally going to look, but we're going to make it look pretty. So we're close. But on top of that, we have left the saving and loading for stuff like inventory system or spell cast level equips, or we've got the hearts, we've got the location, right? All that stuff is loading fine. But if you see our potion up there is up at the top left, which is just totally wrong. If we were to go get the potion and equip it, it'll start to be in the right place, but we just have to figure out all the saving and loading stuff. So I can walk through what the issue was last time, and then we can see if we can figure something out. So let's see. So if we come in here and we get the potion, then we can actually equip it, and then now it's in the right spot, so we can use it. But basically, if we save it, we need to kind of save the current status of what we currently have equipped, either a spellcast, a tunic, or an item, or all three of those. We need to remember that. And we also, the really tough part, see, look at this. We've got an empty potion here, which is wrong. So we're trying to get, see, this is, oh my gosh, this is really tough, because if you look at our inventory system, we can equip a loot, we can equip a spell. So like the loot can go in any of these spots depending on what you equip, because that's the way we implemented this. Was we basically just swap the equipped item with whatever spot in our inventory system. So there's no dedicated spot for any one item, but you can go and just kind of equip whatever you want, and it'll get replaced wherever. That was just the easiest way for me to do it. So in order for this to copy over, one of the issues with the Bitzer library, which is what we use to serialize the data into binary file, and then we load from a binary file to get the data out and then replace it so that we can effectively load our game. We can't serialize tables and everything in Lua is a table. So what we've had to do is kind of like build out like just the little piece of whatever it is. So if we take a look at our save player data function here, we can see, let's see, save player data. So see how we're giving us a table called save data, and then we're giving different keys to store the value. So we're saying save data at index health is going to get the health variable. So when I say that we can't serialize a table, this right here, the player.health, is an integer. It's 1 through 14. The row is 1 through 10. Column 1 through 10. The coordinates are integers or floats. The direction is a string. These are integers. This is a boolean. So it's like we're able to store simple data things, but we can't say, for example, we can't just say save data and we'll just say that this is our inventory. Now this is how it doesn't work. We can't say, well, let's go to our global item inventory and just copy it into the inventory. Ideally, we could do something like that, where we can say, just take our current inventory, store it in the inventory key, go ahead and serialize that, and then when we load it, we're just gonna kind of turn it back into the data that it is. Bitzer doesn't work like that, though. So I guess we can test this. I guess we can test this and say that maybe in our conf here, where is our conf? Yeah, if we go to this nasty data console true, which I hate because it just makes so many bugs, we can start to print up what files we're actually saving when we hit save. So let's say that we hit save data. Now see how we're printing this error saving game if there's a thing, but if this is right. So this is just how we write to a file, right? For a binary save data, we say let's use the input-output.open from the Love2d library. We give it a file to actually open. So this doesn't work if we don't have any save player data, which is why if you at home were to git clone the repo, try to run it, you can't even get past the load screen because there is no player data that it's trying to load from. And that's on the load, not on the save. But so like that's one thing we got to fix. But then we open it, and then we say, okay, well if there was a file there, we're going to say bitzer.dumps all the save data, which is the table. So this is how we serialize it. That's why we save it into a serialized variable, and then we say file write, and we give it that serialized table, and then close it. So let's say right here, we're going to say save success. Yeah. So we're going to say like, save success. This is just for like internal use, right? So we're gonna print that. That'll print to the console because it's not love.graphics print, it's just print. And then we're gonna say, ideally, we're gonna, could we even, I don't know how this would even work. Let's try it. Because like if we were to print the value of serialized, which is the bits or dump, that's all the binary data. I don't think we want that. I think we just want, well, I mean, let's see. If we try to do save data, this is a table, so it'll just print out the address of the table. It won't print out any of the values. So I think we can use inspect to kind of turn it into the values and just maybe see. So if we see save success in the console, then we should right after print the save data that we're turning into binary data to store as a save, and then we can kind of investigate a bit more. So let's see. Okay, so look, we got all these loaded values, and we're gonna hit save. Okay, so it says save success. So look, save success, and then it did. See, and this is why I hate this method, man. Oh yeah. I blame Windows subsystem, because look at how nasty that, it just gets so jacked up. Okay, so I just saved it. Okay, it says save success. It's got the coin count, it's got all this stuff. Okay, so it's able to print up the table. So I guess the move is, can we serialize a table instead of just data? Let's try it, because we want to be able to save the, like we said, right, where we can say, okay, well let's make a key in our save data, and it's going to be inventory, right? So item inventory. And we're going to set it equal to our global item inventory, which is an inventory object. So then instead of printing the save data, let's, for example, just see if we can print up the save data at index inventory, which this should be possible because this isn't using Bitzer. This is just the save data global table at the item inventory key. Item inventory is the key we made. So we're inspecting the save data. So it should say, we can say right here that it's this is inventory. So when we find that line, we should be able to see it. Yo, doing well, thank you. What is up? Okay. So we're gonna save it. Cannot serialize a type user data. So this is the issue. Since it's a table and not a value, we can't serialize it. So it fails before we even get to the point where we print. Serialize value. So what do we got to do here? Because it's failing right here. Because what is in the item inventory is an object. When we try to serialize it with, right here, bits or dumps. I'm pretty sure this is where it's happening, right? Because if we were to take this out, just say, you know what, let's just close the file. Let's not serialize it. Let's not write. We're just going to say, don't do anything. Malformed serialize. That's because when we load it. Son of a bitch, dude. This has been the hardest thing in the game dev process for me. Okay, so let's see. Let's take a look at our inventory class and see if we can print up whatever option it is and see if it'll serialize that. So it's like, what do you like the option? Can we save the option and then try to inspect that on the this is inventory? No. Okay. Can't tell if it just hates. Oh, what is going on? Malformed serialized data. Okay, if this doesn't work, we've got to just Tashio changes. What is going on, dude? We're not doing anything different here, man. Okay, I think I know what happened. I think I know what happened is when we serialized it, it actually saved the binary data, which was that malformed, and then when we go to load it, it was broken, and we can't save with a proper one because we can't even load because we bust it. So we can either turn off loading so that we can resave, or we can, since we have to do this anyway, you know, we need to create this file if it doesn't exist. If it doesn't exist by the time you're loading, it needs to load with like default values, right? So this is kind of tough. Now that we deleted that, we still need to load. So I think what we can do. What the heck, man? I think what we can do is just go turn off any load player data. Because we don't want to load player data because we're going to crash. Because there's no save player data to load. So let's just turn that off for now. So anytime we load player data, we just turn that off. Okay, we've got two more. Okay, so we shouldn't crash, hopefully. Okay, cool. So now if we resave it, we should get that binary save file. Shoot. Oh my god, dude. We're dead, we're dead. We're dead. Son of a... Okay, you know what? Let's just spawn us with more health. Yep. This has been by far the hardest part of this. It's just so hard to test. Son of a... Dude. No. Okay. We're good, we're good. We're gonna make it to save. Okay. Okay. Save. Okay, we quit. Let's see. Let's make sure we saved. We should have in our saves, we have a new save player data. Yo, what up, Rough Cookie? How's it going? How was your stream today, dude? I couldn't tune in. I was at work. Oh, yeah. I've got a shoot. I've got a film shoot I'm helping out with, so it's like just longer hours. Okay. So if we were to delete this, and then turn on our load player data, let's see. We want to find the one from the title screen. Yeah. So we're going to load it from the title screen. When we hit enter on the title screen, we will go ahead and load player data, which... oh, okay, sweet. Yo, I'm excited to see what that's all about. Okay, I'm expecting this to fail. Should crash. Yeah. So it cannot open the save player bin because it does not exist. Oh, I read that so wrong, dude. I read a coop game, like a chicken coop. Were you playing Split Fiction again? Okay, so yeah, we need to... Gosh, man. Basically, if this file doesn't exist, we need to change the game to the opening cinematic state. Because if there's no save file, it's a new game. So instead of crashing, ideally we just do the opening cinematic. But in our load, it just assumes it exists, right? Because it's, if we go to load player data, when we define it, yeah, we go to do this. So is there like a, does it exist? Load love file. Jeez, man. Okay. This was the Bitzer documentation, but I need to find like the Love2d. Love2d check if file exists. It's a love.file system exists. It's deprecated. It is now used love file system get info. Let's see this. Okay, so variable info gets the get info. It takes in a path and then a filter type. Filter type, if supplied, so it's optional, causes get info to only return the info table if the item at the given path matches the specified file type. So we can say, we can filter type by binary, I guess. Because it's a dot binary file. Okay, so let's try this where we can say that we basically just want to, I don't know, I guess we can just change the player state and then break from this function if the file doesn't exist. So I'm going to leave this open so I can look at it. Okay, so we've got local info. Yo, Finn, what's up, man? How's it going? Local info is going to get this love.filesystem.getInfo. And we're going to go, it's the same path. We're going to check our saves directory and check for our savePlayerData.bin. Okay, so if supplied, this parameter causes getInfo to return the table. Is it really Friday? Oh my gosh, it is. What sucks is I've got to shoot this weekend, so I'm working Friday and Saturday and Sunday, and then I've got to go back to my normal job on Monday through Friday, so no. So it's not really Friday, you know, not for me. Okay. Yeah, for right now, I think, what the heck, dude? For right now, I think I just want to kind of turn off what the load player data does, just because it will break because we don't have the file. I'm just trying to test if we can. I don't know what this info is. Like, does this just return a boolean? It says return table info, a table about info of the specified path, or nil if nothing exists. Okay, so if info is equal to nil, then let's just print up file does not exist. And let's just see if that works. Ideally, we'd also break the loop of the load player data, or change our state to the opening cinematic and then break from the load player loop so that it doesn't keep doing that. Okay. It didn't print anything. Is there a savePlayerData.bin here? No. Did we turn off load in our title state? Title screen state? No, it is on. We load the player data. Okay. So let's just see if we print anything. No. Okay. It didn't print anything. That's because we get stashed from our conf. Damn it. Okay. We're going to turn our console back on. And then we're going to only print file does not exist if info is nil, which is asking if there is a savePlayerData.bin file. So now when we load, it says file does not exist. Cool. And then if we were, let's just try it again and actually save the game and then try to boot it again and see if it prints up file does not exist. Or we could print up, what we could do, if it's not nil, then let's just print to the console whatever the info table is that it did actually pull from the .getInfo method. So let's try that. So either it doesn't exist or it'll spit out what it did get. So I'm kind of curious to see what that might spit out. So we load, it says does not exist. So let's go save. Dude, this is like, I don't know if I like this kind of troll room, you know? It's kind of fun. I don't think it'll make the final game, but it's fun for the demo. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna come save it over here. Okay, saved. Now let's try to reload the game and see what it says. Oh, great. It comes back with a type of file. You know, a file type. Okay, well, that works. Now I've got in the game now where if we press, what the heck is it? It would be opening cinematic. I forget what I pressed to trigger it. But basically, where do we do it? N. Okay. So what we want to do, if the file does not exist, we do want to change our game to opening cinematic. So this isn't right. This isn't it. We have an opening cinematic. I'm not sure where that is. Okay, why? Okay. Okay. So we're going to try this where we're going to say if there's no save player data, that means it's a new game. So we're going to change our state machine to the opening cinematic at this point. And then we also want to break from the loop, because how Love works is like it'll, even how the state machine works, even if you change here, Love will still go through and finish the function, the parent function that you're in, and still cycle through and do all that stuff. So we need to break. But if we break, you can only break out of a loop, so we can't break. We kind of have to do like a jump statement. And I'm forgetting where we do it. I've done it once before. It's not a break, but it's like a jump statement that we can use to skip a certain amount of code here. This. Okay, so we can like define like a label here called early break. And there's a go-to statement. So it's really just a go-to, and then you put it in a double colon here. So let's go to our load player data, and we'll say, okay, well, if the file does not exist, let's go to the opening cinematic, and then we will go to, and I'm just gonna do the same thing, early break, and then what it actually, we don't define it with the colons there, we just say what it is, and then it's looking for an early break defined with those colons. So we'll put those colons and call it early break, and then it'll jump to there. So let's see if, since there's no actually now there is a save file, let's just delete the save file and see if we can jump right to the opening cinematic, since the save file doesn't exist anymore. So we'll try that. Dude, it worked. This is the wrong music, but this worked. That's awesome. Yeah, this is the wrong music. There, it's got the right music now for Mage's Castle track, so that's good. Okay. This is great. Okay. So it's going to walk through, it's going to do the whole opening cinematic. We've got the freaking... we got the... Mage's wall is wrong. Oh god, we're rendering the wrong tunic. We don't render Flama. So there's like 4 mistakes there. Let's try to save it and see if we can load the save. We didn't turn it back on though. We didn't turn back on our load, so it won't work. Let's turn it back on. We'll take this load bitzer back in, and we will try to, since there's no save file, it should load us to the cinematic, and then okay. So yeah, we got to fix the music for this. Obviously, the magic potion is in the wrong spot. But we are making some progress. This scene should definitely be Mage's Castle. So we'll have to do that. That one gets it. Oh, it's because it's not even on a warp zone. Oh, we'll have to manually assign that once we in the actual opening cinematic state. We'll have to kind of manually assign it. Okay. Cool. Okay, so we're gonna try to save and then see if it loads not the opening cinematic, but actually loads wherever we saved. So let's try it. We'll save right here to the right side. We'll save it. We'll quit. We should have the savePlayerData.bin. And then when we go to continue, it should, instead of loading the cinematic, it loads the save. Okay, great. That is great. That will help anyone at home who's running source code actually be able to play without going in and manually toggling off the load bitzer, which I don't expect anyone to have figured out. That was my bad. I didn't even realize that was in the game until I tried to play it on my laptop the other day, and I realized that you can't even play it from the source code. So because it can't load a savePlayerData.bin that isn't there. So now we've got basically saying if it doesn't exist, we're going to go jump the load player data so we don't load anything, and we instead just go to our opening cinematic. Okay, so at least we got that fixed for tonight. I've got to shoot tomorrow early, and I was supposed to be done streaming at 11, so let's just take a look at our get diff here. I hate the data console. But yeah, all we do is... Oh, we should turn these back on. It's all the other load player data functions. So you could load player data from a start menu, or from a continue, or from... I guess that's it. Option selector 1. For a non-chasm game over, you can also load whatever your data was. That makes sense. And then load player data in the falling chasm state. So if it's a game over in a chasm state and you hit continue, you will also load your player data. That makes sense. Okay, and then if you hit L, which is a tool for me to just load data so I can just try it, we have it there as well as what? That's it. Okay, so we're gonna also go to our conf and turn off the freaking console because I hate that, and then I think we're good. Also harpoon it. Okay. So let's check the get diff. Yep, all we did was we do a check to see if the save data exists. If it If it does exist, then we just load it. If it doesn't exist, then we go to the opening cinematic, which then lets the player, hopefully it allows the player to get to the point where they can go find a meditation idol and actually save it, which will create that savePlayerData.bin. So we'll say that we do what? Opening cinematic upon new game, or load if savePlayerData.bin exists. Okay. All right. So yeah, a little bit shorter stream. This weekend's going to be kind of tough for me since I work, but I will try to get out and stream because we're trying to finish the demo. We're close. We're close. I keep saying that, but we are actually close. But thank you to anyone who's watching, anyone who's following the program. And let's find someone to raid, and I'll call it a night. Let's see. Yo, Brightside's doing a music challenge right now. That might be fun. Yeah, we'll hit up Brightside. I can't stay. I've got to bounce. But thanks for hanging, Rough Cookie. Thanks for hanging. Yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for watching. I'll be back tomorrow. Yo, Matt Bird, thanks for hanging. Yeah, I'll catch you later, dude. Yeah, have a good night, y'all.